Good evening. I'm Benjamin Pizzillo, the founder and CEO of Urban Tech Expert. Nearly every real estate development project encounters a bureaucratic delay. The most painful of these is the rezoning process. As a result, property with existing underutilized zoning is coveted because it has the legal right to build a larger structure than the one there now. We help solve this problem by applying big data analytics to identify 250,000 parcels in Los Angeles. In the example behind me, there's a single-family structure on a lot where a duplex is allowed, a 2-unit dwelling. There's a single-family structure on a lot already permitted for 4 dwelling units, and there's an underutilized multifamily property. Here's how it works. A client inputs search criteria into our proprietary database and returns that match the properties they're looking for with comparable benchmarks for acquisition costs, construction costs, and potential ROI. We monetize the platform as a subscription service with a 6-month minimum commitment for our single-family and multifamily tiers. We also offer a custom tier with a full range of services. Our market are the 50,000 businesses we have identified operating in the city of Los Angeles related to real estate, and we have a multi-channel strategy to reach them. Our revenue projections include profitability in the first year and growth in subsequent years as we expand geographically and use our cash flow to develop artificial intelligence tools. Our third-year goal is one platform that can tell you what you can build on a property and export out building plans conforming to the local building code. We outperform competition in this space by including construction data analysis that maps redevelopment activity as a predictor of appreciation. Our team includes a career geointelligence systems product manager as our CTO and a PhD in physics as our in-house data scientist. Our partners include IBM, who blessed us with $24,000 in cloud computing services, including access to the Watson AI engine. We're seeking $500,000 as a one-time outside investment to fund our go-to-market, cash flow, and geographic expansion. We're open to strategic partnerships, equity investment, and convertible debt. Thank you.
Real quick, but how many people are already in this platform?
It's in an alpha stage now. What we're doing at the moment are custom reports or custom data analysis on a per customer ad hoc kind of basis. We have 2 such customers now.
And then also just follow up with that. What if you guys, what if the information you provide is not accurate?
Well, obviously, accuracy is critical to our success and certainly our reputation in an industry. We see ourselves as a first touch tool that can help put more into that front end of the deal pipeline. The analogy I make often is we're the sifting pan for the gold miner, the gold 49er. Some human eyeballs are still going to have to look at the nuggets that get caught up in that and do a second tier evaluation, maybe take it to the microscope or gemologist to make sure they've got gold.
Right. Well, I guess because you listed sort of like the ROI, right? That would be based off of a single family home by turning into duplex, construction costs, and anything like that, right? So how are you putting yourselves in there to be able to, I guess, remove the liability that's there from having those numbers kind of into play?
We're working that into the terms of service.
Yeah.
So your value proposition is that you help people get more value out of a property considering zoning rules.
Yes.
Okay. What else can you, and you've collected this data yourself, you've developed a proprietary database that only you have, or no?
Yes, based upon open data, yes.
Okay. So what else can you do with it? It would seem to me like this is a one-trick pony kind of thing. Let's say you're wildly successful and every property in LA is used to its fullest extent. What else can you do with this data?
Well,
Analytics.
we can actually track buying and selling behavior. We can watch redevelopment, which is one of the aspects that we do now, and mapping building permit and construction activity on a micro block by block level. We can show you where the redevelopment curve is heading, so you can actually get ahead of it. And we can keep track of what we call whale projects. So you know an area that's going to be developed over the next several years and get in potentially earlier, or at least in some proximity that you're comfortable as far as your risk profile.
How difficult is it to scale it outside of just LA?
Well, we've already started computations in San Francisco, which was actually a little bit easier than Los Angeles as far as the complexity of the zoning code. That's really why we're doing two things. The first is focusing on the 5 cities of the United States with residential housing crisis: Los Angeles, San Francisco, New York, and Boston. We can do those manually while we grade. Well, hopefully, both two things happen. The quality of artificial intelligence comes up with time, and our ability then to come up with what are the key points that we need to look at in order to train AI onto helping us move our process faster and scale faster.
So if I'm one of those single-family homes on a multi-family zone lot, can I potentially have someone knocking on my door saying, hey, do you want to sell your place?
Absolutely. You may already now.
Okay, no, I haven't, and I wouldn't like it. But I do want to echo the note on what else you can do with the data. I'm on a planning commission, and so it would be extremely valuable as community plans are being developed, as permits are being evaluated.
My background includes being the business agent, the labor representative for the Department of City Planning employees in Los Angeles. So I have a lot of connections in that department, including with Vince Bertoni, the head of the Department of City Planning. We're already having some discussions about a planner's tool, something that might allow them to use this as a canvas to see what impacts could be to a large area. Another collateral potential would be to start mapping tax incentives. In other words, what might a project do to an area as far as real estate tax, and then figure out what might be an equitable incentive for a developer to work in that area rather than spitball or otherwise guess with public planning.
What's your strategy for getting customers to use this? I mean, like, how do you, I can think of 20 potential customers, but how are you getting them?
Our go-to-market, our marketing strategy is actually starting now with our media. We're looking at 2 potential things before the end of the year as far as a case study out of the mayor of Los Angeles' office, and another piece with Pixel Exchange, the Chamber of Commerce program in Los Angeles. So that's where we start planting the seed. We're then looking at after the new year. I don't know a lot of people who pay a lot of attention between Thanksgiving and New Year's. But after the new year, we're looking at maybe a direct mail. All of those 50,000 businesses, we have their names and addresses. We've done the data crunching to identify them already. Then we'll go into trade advertising, trade shows, various other channels to reach out to them.
My immediate random thought, and this was totally just throwing something out there, is I've been dealing with a lot of real estate funds with something that I've been doing lately, and they've been telling me about how a lot of their smaller, properties that they have, they don't pay that much attention to, because if you're a $1 billion fund, you don't really care as much about the smaller stuff. It would be kind of neat to pick a random fund like that, or 10 of those funds, to see which one gets you the best outcome, and then maybe we input this whole, we took Origin Investments real estate, whole portfolio, we put it through our system, and we realized that they had 6 properties that were underutilized, and they have the money to invest in it, so now they're putting that money in, and we just handed them $26 million. I don't know. And that's a blog post, right? Or a white paper. I don't know.
I've actually taken it to the level of meeting with the managing director of a $1 billion real estate portfolio fund. They actually invest in single-family homes and hold portfolios in some cities as many as 400 or 500 homes. That actually
compared side by side.
well, not yet. We haven't gotten to an agreement on exchanging data. It's kind of,
Can you get the data of their portfolio without their permission, or like scrape it somehow so that you could then, even without showing the name, say,
Well,
here's a representative
yeah.
from?
I'd rather just get them to pay me to do that.
Oh, absolutely.
So that's
But
my goal
if
at
you
the
could do it
moment.
for, if you could do it for them, there's 300 other people just like them that could pay you double.
Or we could raise our own money and
Yeah.
use the vehicle as its own data source for an investment arm. That's something we're looking at once we really feel comfortable proving the data to the level of saying, can we have X amount of money?
So your paying customers are guinea pigs.